Somewhere above Big Bear Lake, 145 feet off the ground, there's a nest that should not exist. The eagle who built it was not supposed to stay. The eagle who lives in it now was not supposed to survive. And the story of how both of those things happened is one that almost nobody has told from the very beginning. Until now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Scape News. Today we're starting something I have been pretty excited about for a while. Not gonna lie. This will be episode 1 of a multi-part documentary series we're calling The Nest. And it covers the complete history of Big Bear Lake, Bald Eagle Nest, home currently to Jackie and Shadow, one of the most watched wildlife stories in the world right now. And I mean, we're going back to full history, all the way back before Jackie, before Shadow, before the live cam, to the very beginning of how this nest came to exist at all and where it all started at. If you're new here, welcome to Timescape News. And do us a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Select all notifications so you don't miss a single episode of this series or any others. If you enjoy what we do here, please consider a channel membership. It definitely would help us out a great deal. Makes content like this possible. Now, let's go back to where it all started. Thank you much, and as always, be safe.
Big Bear Lake sits at 7,000 feet above sea level in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California. It is a place of extremes. Summer temperatures that draw millions of visitors. Winter storms that bury the valley under feet of snow. A lake that stays open year-round, even when the lakes further north freeze solid. And for decades, that open water was the reason eagles came. Every winter, 25 or more bald eagles would arrive in Big Bear Valley. They came from points further north. Idaho, Canada, places where the lakes had frozen over and the fishing had stopped. Big Bear Lake was open. Big Bear Lake had fish. And so, every winter, the eagles came, and every spring, they left. For decades, this was a pattern. Eagles arrived. Eagles fished. Eagles departed. Big Bear Valley was a rest stop, not a home. No eagle had ever built a permanent nest in the valley. No eagle had ever stayed year-round. No eagle had ever called Big Bear Valley home. The winter of 2010 into 2011 had been extraordinary at Big Bear Lake. 64 inches of snow and rain, the 5th highest level recorded in a century. The lake filled to capacity, water cresting over the 74-foot dam for the first time in 15 years. The rainbow trout were flourishing. Spawning season was described as robust. A fishing guide working out a pine not landing on the southern shore hooked 17 trout in just 2 hours on a single April morning for a bald eagle, a bird that hunts primarily by diving for fish. Big Bear Lake in spring of 2011 was something close to paradise. It is not difficult to understand why one eagle looked at this valley and decided to stay. And then, one year, one eagle did not leave. Nobody recorded the exact year with precision. Nobody was watching closely enough yet. But at some point in the years before 2012, a male bald eagle arrived in Big Bear Valley for the winter. And when spring came, he stayed. He stayed through the summer, through the heat, through the months when every other eagle had long since returned north. He was alone. He was in unfamiliar territory. And he had made a decision, whether by instinct or by something we do not have a word for, that this valley was worth staying in. The people who would eventually come to know his story gave him a name. They called him Ricky. The following winter, Ricky came back, and this time he was not alone. He had brought a mate. She was given a name too, Lucy. Together, Ricky and Lucy became the first bald eagle pair ever documented taking up permanent residence in Big Bear Valley. Ricky and Lucy began to build. Bald eagles are extraordinary architects. They construct their nests, called eyries, from large interlocking sticks and branches, lining the interior bowl with softer materials. Pine needles, grasses, reeds gathered from nearby water, and they return to the same nest year after year, adding new material each season, a process called accretion. The nest grows heavier and deeper every year they use it. Ricky and Lucy built their first nest in a dead tree. The exact location is not publicly documented, but it stood somewhere in the forest near the north shore of Big Bear Lake, in the community of Fawnskin. It was high, it was exposed, and it was theirs. About 50 feet away from that dead tree stood something far stronger, a massive Jeffrey pine, 160 feet tall, one of the largest trees in the immediate area. Ricky and Lucy would eventually move to that tree, but not yet. First, something had to happen in the dead tree nest. Something historic. In the nesting season of 2011 into 2012, Ricky and Lucy laid eggs. Bald eagle eggs take between 35 and 40 days to incubate. Both parents share the incubation duties, trading off so neither has to sit exposed in the elements for too long. In the mountains of Big Bear Valley, at 7,000 feet, that incubation period means sitting through late winter cold, through wind, through the kind of weather that tests everything. Ricky and Lucy sat through it. And in the spring of 2012, an egg hatched. One chick, small, gray down, entirely dependent on the two adults who had chosen this valley, this dead tree, as their home. San Bernardino National Forest Rangers confirmed what had happened. It was the first bald eagle chick ever documented hatching in Big Bear Valley, a milestone for Southern California's recovering eagle population, a milestone for the valley, and, though nobody knew it yet, a milestone for the entire story we are telling in this series. The chick had been named Jack. It was a reasonable assumption. Most observers, when uncertain of a bird's sex, default to male, and Jack seemed like a fine name for a young eagle in the mountains of Big Bear Valley. But Jack kept growing. Here is something worth knowing about bald eagles. Female bald eagles are significantly larger than males. It is one of the most reliable ways to distinguish the sexes in the field. A female bald eagle can be 25% larger than her male counterpart, heavier, with a wider wingspan, a larger beak. Jack, this chick that Ricky and Lucy had raised in their dead tree nest, was bigger than both of them, considerably bigger. Jackie, the first bald eagle ever documented hatching in Big Bear Valley. Born to Ricky and Lucy, the pair who had chosen this valley when no other eagle would stay. Born in a dead tree nest that would not survive much longer. Born into a story that was only just beginning. Jackie fledged, and then, as young eagles do, she left. Young bald eagles spend their first years wandering. They are not yet ready to breed. They are not yet fully mature. The iconic white head and tail do not fully develop until a bald eagle is around 5 years old. In those years between fledging and adulthood, young eagles range widely. They explore. They learn. Where Jackie went, nobody tracked. Her movements in those years are not publicly documented. She was simply gone. And the dead tree nest, the one where she had hatched, did not survive much longer either. It blew down. Ricky and Lucy did not stop. They moved approximately 50 feet to the Jeffrey pine, the stronger tree, the taller tree, the tree that would eventually hold a camera, the tree that would eventually hold a nest watched by millions of people around the world. They kept nesting. They kept trying. In 2012 into 2013, they nested again. The eggs did not hatch. In 2013 into 2014, 2 chicks were observed. Then a severe multi-day storm hit in February. Neither chick was seen afterward. In 2014 into 2015, 1 chick fled successfully. The observers gave that chick a name too. They called it Shadow. Note, this Shadow, Ricky and Lucy's chick from 2014 to 2015, is not the same eagle as Jackie's future mate Shadow. A different eagle, the same name, an important distinction we will return to in episode 3. Ricky and Lucy kept going, season after season, egg after egg, loss after loss, success after success. The pattern of the Big Bear nest, the heartbreak and the hope, the storms and survival, did not begin with Jackie and Shadow. It began here, with the pair who started everything. Jackie fledged. She disappeared in disguise that had no cameras, no trackers, no way to follow her. The nest her parents built in the dead tree blew down in a storm. And Ricky and Lucy, they kept going, kept building, kept trying, season after season in the Jeffrey pine, the stronger tree, the taller tree, the tree that was already waiting for what came next. But here is what nobody knew in 2012. Nobody knew that Jackie would come back. Nobody knew that she would return, not just to Big Bear Valley, but to the exact tree her parents had moved to after the first nest fell. Nobody knew that when she arrived, there would be a camera waiting for her. And nobody knew that the male she would eventually choose, the one who would become her partner through storms and loss and seasons that would break your heart, was not yet anywhere near Big Bear Lake. He was out there somewhere, unknown, unnamed, and he was coming. That is episode 1 of The Nest. If this story is new to you, there is so much more coming. Episode 2 is already in the works, and members will be the first to know. Subscribe if you have not already. Hit the notification bell. And if you want to support what we do here at Scape News, channel membership is always open and always appreciated. Drop an eagle emoji in the comments if you are following Jackie's recovery. We will see you in episode 2. As always, be safe.